Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Chili Games back again. Welcome back to the channel. As always, I don't do a good job of saying this, but I just appreciate all of you watching, and I hope you can get something out of this video. Moving along into it, we have Old Faithful, the cream of the crop when it comes to making people hurt, making people cry, and well, not the cream of the crop. A question that came to one of my streams last time was, do you think Mogami is still competitive? And the only way that I think Mogami can be truly competitive in all the fire starting meta that we have right now, in my opinion, is with yall. It kind of boosts up those stats to be somewhat competitive with the Cleveland. Obviously, I'm not talking about, overall game impact or whatever. I'm just talking about slinging down HE, burning targets down. So with yall, getting the fire chance up to 25% and increasing the damage, I do think the Mogami can still stand pretty strong in certain games, and like you're going to see in the next probably 5 minutes or so, how that can kind of happen. And obviously, I'm going to also point out some points in the game where we were in a pretty weak spot and we were just lucky that certain things worked out. So right now I'm spotted, and I immediately turn away because I want to present the smallest target ever, because I don't know where these shells are coming from. I can assume that they're going to be coming from this general direction, but just playing it safe, and luckily getting a couple fires started on the Bismarck there, just one. Once you start a fire on a target like a Bismarck or any battleship, and there's another one in range, switch to the next target. That first Bismarck is either going to burn a damage con, so for the next 10-15 seconds you will not be able to light a fire, or he's just going to keep it. And best case scenario is he keeps it, or he burns it actually. You shoot the other target, I get a fire on the other Bismarck again, and now I'm straight back to the first Bismarck because I know he does not have a damage con, so any fires that I light are going to be permanent. And there we go. I realize that it's on the back of his ship, so I aim a little bit further than I did the first time because I want to try and get at least the second fire spot on in the midship there. But I think he's going to take torps, and I just completely misjudged that. I start going for the Massachusetts because he isn't burning. Name of the game is spreading out your damage as much as possible, but also you have to be, that can be a double-edged sword, because it's great if you have 2 fires on 3 battleships, on each, and they're all burning. However, if they're not dead, they can still shoot at you. So sometimes in games with the Mogami, you are just like, man, I have so much damage, but there's no one's dead. I haven't really improved my situation. So always got to be careful like that. If there's a low target, finish them off, get their guns off the table. And this right here, in my opinion, is pretty much the closest that I want to be. That Bismarck right there at 9.1 is actually way too close. If that smoke screen wasn't there, I would have been spotted and could have taken a lot of damage. The reason why I did turn out, though, is because I knew I was kind of edging around the border of the map, and I don't want to get cornered. So all I do is turn around, don't shoot my guns, make sure my guns are getting rotated while I'm doing that turn, so as soon as I'm turned and ready to shoot, all my guns are going, because the biggest thing about the Mogami is the turret traverse is pretty slow. Get pretty lucky there, don't take too much. And the Bismarck, what we did there was we shot him really soon. We weren't in the best position, we were still kind of close, but it baits him out, and the area of denial torpedoes are running smack into him. And this is, in my opinion, some of the most fun in this ship. When you do lead those torps correctly on a ship like that, you fire a salvo, you get a fire, you just see the damage numbers rack up. And I'm not sure what we were at. We were probably around like 35 to 40k, and we just jumped straight up to 110k like it's nothing. Again, shot at the Massachusetts because he did not have a fire on him. Set a fire on him as well. Hopefully that would still burn, but he did use his damage con. Like I said earlier, finishing off the targets, going for the second Bismarck would be okay, but we need to get the first Bismarck's guns off the table. Biggest thing about, I guess, AL Otago is you do take 10% more damage when you are using the Arsonist perk, so, well, skill. I always say perk or skill, same thing. So, you do need to be very careful when kind of engaging in these shots. Get a quick shot on the Bismarck there unspotted, so basically now is when I can kind of turn in. I'm also watching this guy's turrets. What I'm trying to decide in my head is how many shots or how many seconds can I sit here broadside to him before I have to turn out and be careful. Is a pretty dangerous play also because I don't know where that enemy Massachusetts is. I was kind of tunnel vision here. Missed with that first salvo, and it's right there when I spot the Massachusetts on the corner out of my eye. I'm like, okay, Bismarck's guns are turning. I need to slow down. I need to now, since I know that both battleships have shot, there is a at least a 25-second gap where I can get this turn away, so I'll be safe. I would hope, at least. We did get super lucky with no destroyers on this side. So basically, as long as I can, you know, dip, dive, and dodge as best as I can, it's going to be just kind of a farm parade here. Checking out to see where the Massachusetts is going. I was really hoping that he was going to come in. Really kind of hoping, because, again, when you have these torpedoes and somebody is within 11 kilometers and they are coming towards your general direction, shoot them. Just shoot them. This is why my torpedo accuracy is 6%, and people are like, oh, 6%, like, does that make you a bad player? Like, no. Even when I'm a destroyer, you've seen me play. If there is a spot where I think there's going to be a destroyer, especially early game, or if I know there is a highly congested area that a lot of people like to go, I almost always 100% of the time shoot those torps, and you know, maybe 1 out of 30 games you actually get the kill. I actually had a game last night where I was in the Akazuki. I forget what map it is, but I was going off into the flank and I shot the torps into a B cap in the center. Literally 40 seconds later, one shot the enemy Akazuki, and the game was almost decided at that point. So the off chance that you do get those torps, I mean, you have literally 16 of them in Mogami, so if you think someone's coming, shoot them. Just shoot them. So now we can push. What we need to do now is kind of get into the middle of the map, and I was kind of half expecting this game to be somewhat over. I was expecting the Massachusetts to probably get into a fight that he would lose pretty hard, and that would be it. So again, as you see me looking over towards the Massachusetts, every time that I shoot, I don't stay focused on one target. I'm looking to see where battleship guns are, because those are the guns that will kill me. Looking at the Bismarck, I see that he shoots. I'm already angling away, presenting the smallest target. If the Bismarck does slap me, then that's just unfortunate for me, but we did the best thing possible there. We angled away and took very minimal damage. I guess the biggest thing that I will say about this as well is, you know me, I run the propulsion mod, and I see a lot of people talking, especially from Mogami, because you can run rudder builds on the Mogami. Like, I don't think rudder builds on Mogami are bad, but I just don't really see the point, because to me the rudder is already sufficient enough, and as long as you're paying attention and as long as you're at engagements that favor the ship, aka this Bismarck this is about as close as I want to be to a battleship. Granted, he's pretty low health, so I can get a little bit, I stayed an extra 2 seconds to get that shot off, and you see what happened. I did take about 5k damage there. So as long as you're paying attention to where battleships are, when they shoot, whatever, and you're angled away, you don't really need the extra buffs from rudder shift. If I'm dodging just fine now with the stock rudder shift, you know, I'm running concealment mod as well. You really just need to pay attention. And I guarantee a lot of people that run super duper fast rudders, it's like, yeah, that's great, but I guarantee that you could take off, let's say, AL Baltimore and maybe the rudder mod 3 and had the same kind of play in your game. And in my opinion, there was a question, what do you think about AL Baltimore? And AL Baltimore, obviously, she gives you -6% rudder shift, and while that's all fine and dandy, we're really talking, especially with cruisers, you're talking about seconds, like, you know, 5 seconds or so. So 6% of that is very, very small. So even if your commander is maxed out with AL Baltimore, in my opinion, there are much more valuable inspirations. And do you really need your rudder to be turning 0.2 seconds faster than it was without it? Like, I don't think so. If you're going to build a kiting build, you could pick Lemonnier, the French guy that makes it to where you can disappear after 20 seconds. Oh, well, actually, you can get it down to like 15 or so. I think that's where mine is. And right here as well, you see that I'm playing pretty wide open against this Massachusetts. I'm not angled away. I know that he's not focusing me, and I have free reign to do basically whatever I want until I see him shoot his guns and turn his guns towards me, because every time he shoots his gun, and my cat just, I don't know what that was, if y'all heard that. Where was we? Oh yeah. Every time he shoots his guns, I know that I have a 30-second gap to somewhat maneuver and be a less presentable target. Thankfully, we finish him off there, and we don't have to fear any battleship shells. And now this Yudachi, I'm not sure what he is doing. Obviously trying to finish off a target, because I believe he does right here. He does, I believe. Not the best. 2 salvos there. We probably could have killed him already. And I do miss this next salvo, which was kind of scary because I know that all this Yudachi needs is, you know, half a second to get his torps off, and he actually does end up getting a set of torps off at me, but luckily we get the front guns going, and we kill him here. We turn in towards him because we were pointed away from him, so he shot his torps where we were going. We turn. We have the sonar going as well. He only had one set out, so now basically trying to finish up this Mogami. We have 4 kills, 232,000 damage. This was a really fun game. I haven't played Mogami in forever. It is still my most played ship at around 400, almost 500 battles, but I haven't really touched the ship more than 10 games in probably the last 1,500 games or so. So it's really a ship that is probably going to stay at my most played for a while, because I usually play about, 150, 200 games in most ships and get bored of them. So I think it'll be a while before this ship gets overtaken. Now, I'm not sure what this Mogami was really shooting at, but I knew at some point I was going to start hitting shots because he's going to get greedy. And you can see how much more effective he is in this, like in that position that he's in now. Like Mogami is a kiting cruiser. You have all your torpedo armaments facing the back, and he is playing it perfectly, because if I wasn't paying attention, he has 8 Kagero torpedoes coming in my face, and for any person coming around, that could be deadly. But we secure the kill because he was very, very low health. And that's really all she wrote. This was my first game of Mogami in a while, and it came out to be quite a banger. So I hope you guys learned something, and this is just the way that I play Mogami and most of the cruisers that I kite with. So if you enjoyed, please leave a like, and let me know what you think about the game in the comments, and I will see y'all next time. Take it easy, guys. Peace.